Hello, my name is Wayne, and welcome to my channel um, where we discuss retirement, what happened, why most of us at my age and older are struggling in retirement. We talk about everything life in a country, living, surviving with low income. So, if you're a retirement age or about to retire, and you're thinking about what do I do from here, then this channel, my friend, is for you because I've started my journey and I want to tell you everything I've learned so far and how it's affected me and my family. The name of this channel is Life After the Clock. I named it that because, we punch a time clock most of our life, and then we thought, okay, when that's done, when I'm done punching that clock, I can start living life. Unfortunately, for most of us Americans, that is farthest thing from the truth, isn't it? First thing I want to talk to you about is how much today prices have increased on everything, groceries, our medicines we need, um, cost of living, right? Our homes, our taxes, and not to mention if we're trying to help our grandkids and our children a little bit, that plays a big role. That plays a big role in how much money we have each month as well. Inflation has killed us, and unfortunately for most of us seniors and people retiring, we're living on a fixed income, specifically SSI and disability insurance and those kinds of things. And those cost of living raises they've given us doesn't even come close to pacing up with inflation and the rise in prices and gas and products and foods and materials we need for everyday life. And so, unfortunately, here we are. I'm having to still work, and I know a lady that I work with. She's 67. I'm 62. She's 67, and she retired once, came back, retired again, and then came back. And I told her before she retired the last time, me and her both retired. We retired within a month of each other, and we both talked to each other, and we talked. We said, we're getting old. Our bodies are just wearing out. We're just not able to do like we used to do, and we'd like to spend what energy we got enjoying life now, right? We spend 40 years of our lives or more working, 45 for me, and I'm just 62, so you can do the math on that when I started working. And so she was the same, and she's a super nice lady. I think the world of her. And before she retired the last time, I told her, I said, how's it, what are you expecting? How's it going to work for you? What you got plans? And you know what she told me? She said, my plan is never to be back in here again, never have to work again. 6 months later, guess what? She's back in there working again, part time. Guess where I'm at? I'm back in there working again part time. So I hope I'm not the only one. And if you're having to do the same thing, why I go to the Walmart and all these places, and I see people just like me, my age and your age, we're out here having to work still. And then we look at the world today and we think, okay, well, the younger crowd's going to take the ball and they're going to run with it. And unfortunately, we're not seeing a lot of that take place. Most young people don't want anything to do with us senior citizens. And it's unfortunate. Even our own families. I don't know what you want to say. You can say what you want to. Maybe we're old current. Maybe we're just old fashioned and they don't like hanging with us. Whatever the reason may be, they got their own lives, whatever. The truth of the matter is that want nothing to do with us. So we are on our own to deal with all of this. So I'm having to work to help pay for stuff. I was fortunate enough, God bless me, that we have got some things paid off. And I'm sure most of you, like me, we have plenty of bills each month, right? And for those of you out there who are still working and you having to pay your mortgage payment, my God, I'll be praying for you because I know how that is. When I first retired, we were still paying a mortgage payment, and it was not cheap. And the time we pay all our bills, we had little or no money left for groceries and medicine. And you just face it, if you're my age and older, you're having to spend a lot of money on medicines, even though your own health care from, work. See, people get it twisted. They think, oh, these benefits you receive are a gift. No, we worked our entire life for the benefits that we receive. And to be honest with you, they're subpar. They're so bad that it's actually ridiculous. We helped build this country. We helped support and lift this country up. Now here we are struggling, having to work in our 70s and 80s. I know a lady that I had another job with working. She was 72 and still working full time. I mean, is she gonna work till she dies? Is she gonna enjoy life? And why is that? Well, the reason I'm having to still working is to help my family, help us survive. Now, I've got a little farm here. I grow stuff. I raise some animals, and this and that, and all that together helps me. We raise a little garden. We try to buy and cook our own foods and what we can, and we raise some foods, and we raise chickens so we can have our own eggs. All that helps. And so in future videos, we'll go through different things that I have done so far, and I'll be honest with you, it's helped me tremendously in retirement. And in fact, if I can keep going the way I'm going, I may be able to quit work and do this other little side hustle. Now, we'll talk about all those things in the future, okay, as far as all that goes. And then the next thing is, a lot of us, we have grandchildren and great grandchildren who we are 100% responsible for, at least 90%. Parents work, parents got their own life, can't afford a daycare, can't afford to pay someone else. So we have to pick up the ball and babysit for free, plus work full time or not part time, some of us still full time, plus keep a homestead, plus if you have animals, plus manage your medications or doctor visits, and all these things adds more stress to us in retirement. So I know what you're going through. If you're here today and you're watching this video, I know exactly what you're going through. I'm going through it. You're probably going through it if you're watching this video. But there's hope at the end of this tunnel, and we'll talk about. We got a lot of things to talk about, and I'll show you things. We'll do. This channel is going to be a lot about this kind of stuff. Things. I mean, I'll show you things to how to do. To help you in retirement, so you don't have to work, so you don't have to kill yourself. Is retirement ever going to be completely worry-free? Unless you're rich, no, probably not. But can we get to a point where our worry and our stress can be so reduced that we can actually enjoy life like we dreamed about when we first set out on this journey of life, when we first started working and getting a family? Thinking the way remember my wife used to talk about, how we'd retire to the beach and I would have a beachfront home and we'll just lay on the beach all our days. And no, that's not going to happen. We're not going to get to that. I wish that we could, but we're just not rich. We're just like you folks. We live every day, build to build is how we live, And so I want to talk to you about that. Then I want to talk to you about another point in our lives as retirees. If you're planning to retire, you already are, is our health. I touched on it about the medications a while ago, but we now have to also worry about, I can't sit down because how many stories have you heard of your friend or your brother or your brother-in-law, your sister, someone retired and within a year they're gone, they're passed away because they sat down, they finally got the rest, right? Unfortunately for us, we can't do that. We have to stay active. If we don't stay active, then what happens? That's what happens. We leave this world, and sometimes you may think, well, it'd be better off if I did. And if you're right with Jesus, then you're right, it would be better off. But the world would miss you. There's plenty of people who love you, even though you might think there isn't, there is. But we have to stay active. We have to go out each day, get up. But the good thing about retirement is on the days I don't have my grandbaby, I can sleep into 9 o'clock. That's so nice. And I can get up and I can just pace my day slowly. I don't have to kill myself or none of that stuff. I just pace my day. Now that means a lot to me. And if you're like me, I'm sure you don't like to be rushed either. So Staying active is a big part of our retirement. We have to walk, take hikes in the wood. I got this little woods here. It ain't much, less than about right at 20 acres or so, but I can take a walk in the woods. I don't feel like walking. I'll drive my side by side up on the woods and just sit there for an hour, just enjoying nature. And that gives me a complete reset in my heart, my soul, my mind, and it refreshes me. And so I go out and I walk sometimes. I get out here and do little jobs and work all day long, even in the hot heat. I'm trying to stay active. I want to stay active. I want to keep this body going as long as the good Lord would have me to go. So we must stay active. Now that just doesn't mean physically. That means emotionally and mentally. Love our family, love our neighbors. Help each other. If you don't have any family and you're lonely, that's okay. Join something local for people our age. There's all bingo night. A lot of people, you hear these young people talk, oh, but bingo night's actually good. You go down and meet people you know. Go to church functions. Go to wherever you need to go that's having fellowship. Churches, a lot of times, they have a group for seniors, 55 and older groups usually. And they go on trips and they do all kinds of wonderful things that will get you active mentally and emotionally. Okay. And then there's another way of being active, and that's in your finances. A lot of people don't think about finances as being, I'm going to be financially active, but you do, especially in retirement. You may think, oh, I can retire now. I've got this little bit of pension and this little bit of, and I'm good. And maybe you are, and if you are, God bless you. More power to you. Go on with yourself. But a lot of us don't, and so when I say financially active, find ways to make income that's subsidiary to your money that you receive, right, from the government, from all your years of working. I started a YouTube channel, and so if I can make 300 or 400 a month on that wouldn't that be good? Wouldn't that be a lot? Start a YouTube channel. There's other ways. Some people start online a channel where they sell stuff, and all kinds of little things, little local stuff they do. Some people do little arts and crafts and sell it on TikTok and sell it on Etsy and all these places. And if you don't know about all that stuff, that's okay. Find something that you can do, that you can contribute, and if it only brings in $20 a week, hey, you enjoy doing it, but don't make it feel like it's a job to you, right? You want to do something fun. You want to do something that you enjoy. I remember my great granny was born in 1893, so that tells you how long ago. I remember as a young boy, 10, 11 years old, and she told me many times, and she'd always say, they were up before daylight making breakfast, and they were out there working by daylight. But something she always did when she didn't have nothing to do, you know what she did? She quilted. She made quilts, and she sold those. You know what? People bought them, and she also made feather pillows and she got the feathers from her chickens and stuff, and every bit of that stuff she did herself, and she sold them locally, and she made a little extra income for herself and for us. That's what I'm talking about. Do things that you can do. Maybe something's been passed down to you that no one else in your community is doing. Do that. So there's all kinds of little ways you can get active financially as well. What surprises you most? If you've retired, what surprises you the most about retirement? I'll tell you something that kind of surprised me, and that's missing coworkers and the camaraderie at work, right? Uh, I don't want to go back. Don't get me wrong. And I'm too old and I'm worn out, but I still miss some of those people, and I think about them quite often. For if you have one job, some people, I didn't. I've worked several places over my life, but I've worked enough to people I miss. But some people work their entire life at one job, or maybe two jobs. You build a family at work, and don't let anyone ever tell you that that's not your work family, because they really are. You know all about them. You know what's going on with them and their struggles, and so you miss those people. And they become part of your family and part of your life for years. Some of them more family than your real family, because you see them 8 hours a day for 40 years, and you know them people. You know all about their family and their kids and what's going on with So that's a big surprise. How do you deal with that? How do you deal with missing coworkers? You call them. How's it going with you? When you retiring? Hey, you don't get together for lunch. That goes back to the other part I was talking about a minute ago about staying active, right? You can meet people, coworkers, and you can say, hey, let's meet up for lunch Saturday. Let's get a bunch of the guys together from the mill or from the steel plant or from wherever. Let's get a bunch of guys together and let's go down. Let's go and have lunch somewhere. I've been places like Cracker Barrel or something. Sometimes on a Saturday morning or Sunday morning, and I'll see 5, 6 guys come in, and I hear them over laughing. I'm like, and it dawns on me, they're people, they're friends. They met each other probably at work, and they're just having a good, good little lunch outing together. They probably seen, I heard them say before, hey, I ain't seen you in 5 years, or whatever. So that's stay connected, and that way reach out to them. If they ain't reached out to you, that's okay. Make the first move. Reach out and say, hey man, I wonder how you been. It's been a couple of years since I retired, and I've kind of lost touch with you. How you been doing? How's your family? How's so and so? Just touch base with them, see how they're doing. You'll be amazed how much better you'll feel because of that, and it makes them feel better. And then if you can get several of you together, just maybe one another person get together and have lunch. That's okay. You know, all those things help you, especially at the first, because you will have what I call retirement shock. When you first retire, you're going to go into shock. I mean, it's such. And the first couple of days, you think I've got it made, but then the reality sets in, right? All the stuff I've talked about so far starts hitting you, and you're like, okay. And some of us, unfortunately, have lost their spouse. I'm lucky enough, and God bless me, and my spouse is still with me. But I know friends that their spouses have went on. They've gone, and I can't understand how much loneliness you feel. I can kind of think, hey, that's got to be awful. Because I know if I lost my wife, I would be, I would be really upset, really lonely. After the first couple of days, then a month, then a year, then all of a sudden it's been 2 years, and family don't come see you, some kids don't come see you. That's what I'm saying. Reach out to people. Reach out to your coworkers. Now, some of you guys may be self-employed and you don't really have a lot of coworkers. That's okay. Go back to what I said previously. Meet people at your local church. Meet people at the bingo. Meet people at places where senior citizens get together. Okay, that'll help you. And then a couple of things, I'd like to say, um, retirement is different for us than it was for our parents. They retired in an age where, you know, pensions and money was tighter, but also products and prices were much, much cheaper, right? And so they could get by on a lot less money than we can. And so I would have to do research to see how that all tallies up as far as their cost of living and the money they made versus our cost of living and the money we made. But it feels different, right? The entire world feels different to us. I know how many of you guys have thought to yourself, I don't recognize this world I live in. It's changed so much. It's so different than when I was a kid. And that's the truth of it is it has changed. I don't recognize it. Everything's different. Everything's different. And so retirement also is different. Now, that being said, the title of this video, the reason I work part time is because it's different. All right. You still get to draw your benefits. You still get to draw your. See, I work PRN at my job, and I still get to draw my Social Security and other forms of stuff that I have coming in. And the money, a little bit a week. It ain't much. It's a couple $100 a week. It adds up to $800 a month. That's still worth it to me. $800, that's a lot. That's pretty much all the groceries I need for the month. Probably more. That's more than groceries I need. But I got a lot of family I have to feed and help out. So if it's just me, I can get by on probably $200 or $300 a month. But where I've got a lot of family stuff, it's a little more. But my point is, part-time work, 1 or 2 days a week. I won't work no more than that. Just work whatever you need to work to keep some money, so that you can do stuff, right? You can still have money. You don't have to worry as bad because there's enough going on when we retire. We don't need financial stress. Financial stress, if you look it up, is the most worrisome thing for retirees. They worry more about money than to do anything. And so this channel is all about helping you guys not to do that. Working part-time right now is helping me. How long do I plan on doing it? Not long. I've been doing it about a year now. Well, about 9 months. And so I probably do it another year at most, maybe, and then I'm probably going to call it quits for good. Maybe not. I may have to work more than that, but as of now, that's my plan. And so work part-time for a while and try to get everything paid that you need. Prioritize small bills, pay them off first, and then try not to get no more small bills. And, keep paying up till you pay all your big things off. Some people may have a mortgage, and they may have a mortgage until they die. And that's awful. And if you do, just, maybe working part-time also keeps you active, keeps you in the loop, as you're talking to people, knowing people, right? And so that is another way to help you stay active, is working part-time. I work part-time for numerous reasons. 1, to help my family. 2, to stay active. 3, I love the people I work with. They're awesome. And so I keep in touch with everybody. So that helps me that way, right? And so in closing, I would like to ask you, how many people out there watch this video all the way to the end, and you're sitting there and you're trying to figure out, you just retired, or maybe you've been retired for 10, 15, 20 years, and you're still struggling with retirement. And so we don't want to be that way. We really want to reimagine in our minds what retirement is. And, we had these dreams when we were young, and most of them are unfulfilled in retirement. But we can get closer to those dreams if we do things to put us closer. I remember a guy told me once, and I'll never forget it. He said, "You will miss every swing that you don't swing." I was like, "What?" He said, "Every time you step up to bat and you don't swing, you're going to miss." I'm like, "Well, yeah." He's like, "No, you don't understand. If you don't swing, you're going to miss." So that's what I'm talking about. You just got to keep going. Got to keep trying. Don't do it to a point that you did before you retired. See, that was what we called work. We don't want to do that no more. We want to try to relax. And there's ways to do it. I get out here every day and I do things. And sometimes I feel pressure to get everything done. I do. I'll be the first to admit that. I feel pressured. I got to get this done today. I got that done today. And I get this done today. And then, my wife sometimes say, "Hey, you need to do this. You need to do that." And sometimes I feel the pressure from that. But I try not to let that bother me, because we have to understand we are retired. It's our turn, to coast, right? But along that coasting, we can stop and smell the roses. And what I mean by that is we can do things to set ourselves up to help us down the road. And those are the kind of things we've been talking about in future videos. Those are the kinds of things I'm going to try to help teach you to do. I'm learning to do them as well. I've already done some things and making a little extra income, and I've got 2 or 3 things. And that's another thing we'll talk about down the road, is having your eggs in more than one basket, right? I know you guys heard that old saying, don't put all your eggs in one basket. That's exactly what I'm talking about. My whole strategy of this channel is exactly that. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. We got to figure out some things that we can do as retirees that we can have some income coming in. If you watch this whole video and you're here at the end, you don't want to see more, just like and subscribe to the channel. I'm going to try to put out a video every single day. Now, there may be a couple days here and there I miss, but I'm going to try to do a video every day. As I learn, you can journey with me. We'll journey together. Maybe you have things you can teach me, because, hey, I'm willing to learn. I'm willing to learn this thing about retirement. I want to be better in retirement too. I'm here with you guys. I don't got it figured out. But if we work together, we help each other, we can build this to where we both can kind of, hey, I'm actually retired now. I can go fishing today. I can go hunting. I can go golfing. I can sit around and do nothing today. But that's future videos. Thank you so much for watching. God bless you. And thank you for tuning in to this channel.